Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Champs Drink Champs podcast. I am your host, Shelby, and I have on the call Tayler, and it's her wedding week.
That was so aggressive.
You just never know what you're going to get with me.
You really don't. It is my wedding week. I'm going insane. Please let the Lord be with me because I'm over this.
Yes, it is her wedding week. We were technically supposed to be recording the Newlywed Game Show tonight, but it's a wedding this week, so we don't have time for that. So we're very sorry. We still plan to do it. I have very good questions, and we will get to that when the stress of everything is final, because Tony has to work on the deck because we need the deck finished. So
yeah, he's so close to being done. It just like all these last minute things are like tedious, time consuming things. So like one thing takes forever to do, but it should hopefully be done tonight. So
fingers crossed.
yes,
We will see. So yeah, that is why we are doing a different episode today. I think we had a solo episode last week. Hopefully you guys caught up on that. But yeah, we're just going to talk a lot of shit today.
I have so much to say. I've seen Shelby twice since she's been home from Vienna, but the things that I've really wanted to say, I haven't said because I've been saving them for the podcast.
Ooh, that's stressful. Well, I'm excited to hear those things. I hope everyone's enjoying fall so far because I am like really enjoying the fall weather. I feel like I can't get enough of going outside and just like being in my fall era. And I really want like chili. I want like a chili that's like been cooking all day. I want to sit on my couch and have no responsibilities. Maybe that will happen in like October, but as of right now, I just really want a fall day like that. And I hope everyone's also feeling fall-y.
It's about damn time that you're in your fall era because you're never in the fall era. You always are like summer, and this has truly never happened. I thrive in the fall. I love the fall. So I'm happy. Welcome to the fall.
I've been very surprised by myself. I don't know who I am or where this came from, but this is truly the only time I've ever been like, oh my God, I love fall so much. This is so great. It's so weird.
I love it. I'm here for it. This is how I feel every year. The fall is just the happiest time ever.
And also yesterday we had a little bridal day for Tayler. So this is why you get me with my very natural look today, because I had a bomb facial and we did, what was it called?
Dermabrasion.
Yes, we did that.
And I am a fan. I am such a fan.
My face, I don't know how your face feels, but mine is like tight and like it definitely needs more lotion right now, but it is tight and it is like thriving.
Yeah, my skin, I'm also in my natural era. My skin is like literally thriving. I just got Botox this week as well, and that has kicked in. I'm literally raising my eyebrows right now, and you can't even tell. I am here for this facial. I'm a fan of microdermabrasion. I will always do that, actually.
Yeah, I would totally be down to get that frequently. I have a very important question though.
Yeah.
Do you have your spray tan booked?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I know I'm so white.
I just need to point out that you literally blend in with the color of your wall behind you.
I know, dude. I even laid out today for like an hour. I laid out in the sun and nothing happened. I was wearing tanning lotion, all the things, not an ounce of color. I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, my spray tan is booked for this week. So we are good to go in that department.
Bless up, bless up.
I do have to tell a funny story. I totally face planted getting into our friend Amy's car yesterday because I had too much champagne. I guess I just missed the stair to get into the car, or I guess I tripped over the curb. I don't really know what happened, but I really fucked up both of my ankles, and my ankles are throbbing today. The only thing that has helped is that CBD salve stuff. That's the only thing that's helped my poor ankles. They are in so much pain.
Oh my God, it was so great. Yeah, we had a lot of champagne. We met for brunch at our favorite place, which is like, God, I don't know why those guys didn't enjoy the cheese, but
I know, I'm so confused.
They have a fondue that comes with their fries, and it's so delicious. And our two friends both got it. One got it with one order and then also added it to the second order. So she had two of them, and literally between the two of them, there was 3 cups of it and neither of them touched it. And me and Tayler went ham on ours. So it was
Yeah.
so good. We got fucked up on French 75s and martinis. Then we had some shopping champagne, and Tayler just,
Face
she was
planted.
just she was just doing something.
Thank God I didn't break anything, but you guys, when I'm telling you I face planted, I legit fell on my face.
Yeah.
So embarrassing. People saw Farmington Station was so busy and people saw, and it just like, you just got to embrace the things that happen.
It was very, very silly. So yeah, it was a very fun day celebrating her. I feel like that was like the first real like wedding thing we've done, and it was really exciting.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful.
So I have some things to say, but I don't know where they fall with the things you have to say. So I don't know if you want me to just hit one of mine and then you can go.
Just hit it, baby. Just hit it.
Okay. So as you guys know, I was in Vienna. So still on my obsession with wanting to live in Vienna for sure. I think every single time I go back, it's getting worse and worse, but it's still an amazing place. And a couple of the things that I have to say are tied to my trip to Vienna. The first note that I have, I always make notes when I'm on the airplane of like random thoughts that I have. I don't know what it is about plane thoughts, but they're similar to my shower thoughts, I think, but they're like different. Shower thoughts are usually tied to like my regular life, my work life, and I have like these ideas or these things that are like for the podcast or work or like home life. On an airplane, I think my brain almost opens up even more, and I just think the weirdest things that I'm like, why would I ever think about this? So the first one that I have is I normally fly Delta because I'm a Delta whore, as you guys know, if you follow me on social media. And lately, Delta has been using KLM because that's like their partner plane people to do some of my flights. And I haven't been very happy about that because the
Wait,
food is
what's
very different.
KLM?
It's like the Royal Dutch Airline or something like that. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
you'll see it sometimes at the airport where it's like KLM, like it's like a actual airline.
Okay.
So, but it like partners with Delta. So KLM is who my flight was with on the way there. And I was like, God damn it. Like, of course it's KLM, like their weird Dutch food that they're going to serve me. Like, hello, I'm actually Dutch, but like the food is weird. And I was sitting there and I had this like epiphany about, and it reminded me about Europe in general. People and the quality of life there is so different, but the people and the people working on KLM are literally so happy to have their job. Like that is the one good thing that I would say. Like, I don't know how everyone else's Delta experience is, but for the most part, those Delta agents on your flight, they're not very happy. They are
No,
not
they're
very
not.
pleased. They're not very pumped to like serve you. And these people, like, they know your name every single time they come. They like have memorized what your name is. They're telling you, like, hey, Shelby, what would you like to drink? And then they're like making all this like really legit eye contact. They're super helpful, super kind, and just like so happy and want you to have the best day. And that is like literally the energy that you'll have in Europe, I would say. But it's blowing my mind because it made me realize that Delta's agents suck ass. Like literally, they are terrible. And on my flight home, we were stuck on the tarmac for 3 hours, and this was a Delta flight. And so we were in Paris and we had all the Delta agents right in front of us, and they were talking mad shit. Like they were talking shit about each other. They were talking shit about like the pilot and his announcements about us being on the tarmac. They were talking politics. They like one guy was being sassy to one of the customers because he was like saying something. He asked him like, what do you want to drink? And he was like, what kind of wines do you have? And he's like, the same wines that he's like, do you fly Delta often? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, so the same wines we always have. And the guy was just like, okay, like what kind of do Chardonnay, like red wine, like what are my options, white or red?
What?
And then he walks back to the front, and the other Delta agent was like, wow, you're such a dick to that customer. And we can all hear them. It was just a night and day difference. And I just was like, it blew my mind
What
because
the
I
heck?
really love Delta, but their agents really don't like to help you. And it was very
No,
clear.
they
And it
really don't.
really reminded me of that. So then my next point is I don't know what it is about an airplane, but I cry every time I'm on an airplane lately. When I'm on a trip by myself, I end up like being freaking emotional. Like I'm the most emo person ever, and I'm just like watching movies. I freaking was watching Crazy Stupid Love, which I think is a very underrated movie, first of
It
all.
is. I love that
Ryan
movie.
Gosling in that movie, oh
So
my gosh.
hot. Hmm.
Like, wow. So I was watching that and I cried. That's literally
About what though?
I don't even know. It was so stupid. So I don't know what it is about planes. I don't know what it is about all of it, but it makes me very emotional and I get really in my feelings and it's very, very uncomfortable for me.
Well, that's probably good. You need some way that you can get in touch with your feelings.
Nah, I don't want to be the person crying on an airplane.
It's okay. You'll never see these people again. And the Delta agents are probably talking shit about the girl behind them crying, and it's fine.
Oh, but they 100% are. They're like, wow, this bitch is having a hard day. But let's not be nice to her. Let's just not serve her and let's not give her the wine that she's owed. Let's skip over her because that happened to me and I was
It
pissed.
did. You have so many free drinks.
I know. Anyways, those are my initial plane conversations. We can talk about something else of yours before I talk about my other topics.
Okay, I really have to talk about this Danny Masterson trial. I've been dying to talk to Shelby about it, but I really wanted to dissect it on the podcast. It's insane. It is insane. Do you know anything about it?
I was reading some of this stuff because I think this was going down while I was in Vienna,
Mm-hmm.
but when I was on the tarmac for fucking 3 hours, I caught up on some of it and I was very shocked. Like,
Okay,
I
yes.
forgot
So,
about this. Like, I think you talked to me about it originally when it like first was
mm-hmm,
coming out and you were like telling me about it and I was like, what the hell? But then I
mm-hmm.
forgot about it. And then I think now it's finally like a verdict was reached. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me just give a little backstory. Tony and I went through this Scientology phase that we were obsessed about learning everything that we could about Scientologists. We watched all the documentaries, all the TV shows. I Googled so many things. I read a few books. Like we were deep into this cult of Scientology, like research phase. So I know a lot of random things about Scientology. But, anyways, with that, you get to know that like Scientology has a lot of celebrities. One of those was Danny Masterson or Hyde from that 70s show. I was a huge That 70s Show fan growing up, like one of my favorite shows. I loved it. So he was being accused by forcibly, I guess, trigger warning, but forcibly raping 3 girls. Okay. And he drugged and raped these 3 girls. They were a part of the Scientology cult. One of them was his girlfriend, the other 2 were not. So with Scientology, they keep a lot of things very secret because they don't want people like looking into them because the way that they practice their quote unquote religion is completely illegal, not ethical. So they keep a lot of things secret and they pay a lot of people off because they have a lot of money. So these girls, they paid them off. And then these girls, well, the Scientology tried to pay them off. And these girls were like, no, we are not going to be paid off. So they took him to court and the verdict was reached that he is guilty. And freaking all these celebrities that are part of Scientology are writing letters like, saying that he shouldn't be put in jail and that he was a victim and all this bullshit. But one of the biggest surprising thing was Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, that they wrote one of these letters because they're a part of that like organization that helps sex trafficking. Mila Kunis had that really good movie about being raped and like all of these things. And I'm so shocked that they wrote these letters. And apparently there's a huge backstory because this girl that was Hyde's girlfriend, Danny Masterson's girlfriend, is posting all of this shit on Instagram. And apparently, allegedly, Ashton Kutcher had an ex-girlfriend that was murdered. Did you read any of this?
No, the only thing I've seen is the verdict was reached and Ashton and Mila are getting a lot of heat because of their statements. And then he's part of this organization. And then they did that video trying to like backtrack, but it was like terrible. And now he's not part of his organization anymore. That's literally all I know.
Okay, so this ex-girlfriend posts on Instagram this big long paragraph I think I actually screenshotted it. But she said that Ashton called Danny one night and was freaking out because this girl, so he had this girlfriend that was murdered. He went to pick her up for Ashton Kutcher. He went to pick her up for like an event. And she wasn't answering the door. He looked through the window, like the window of the door, and there was stuff on the ground that he thought was red wine. So he left. He thought that there was like spilled red wine on the ground. So he left, went to this event. The next day, the police like did a wellness check and this girl was murdered and what was on the ground was blood. And so Ashton called the cops and was like, well, my fingerprints are on the door because I went to go pick her up. And so, like, the whole story seems super weird. So, this girl on Instagram posted, Ashton, I was there that night that you called Danny, and I knew that you guys had a quote plan. And I know what that plan is. So, you better tread these waters lightly. Like, totally accusing Ashton of murdering this girl and then Danny helping cover it up. So now, like, all these people are talking about this girl that was murdered. This was like years and years ago when that 70s show was like really big. So we were probably in like middle school, I think, when it was like a really big show. And so it's just like so crazy. And this girl is just posting all this stuff, like saying that she has all these secrets about all these celebrities and Scientology and all this stuff. And now Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis have both like stepped down from this organization because they are just like under fire about writing these letters, which they should be because they did kind of discredit these victims, you know? But then there's also a rumor that they are, well, there's several different rumors that Ashton and Mila are secret Scientologists. There's also rumors that like Scientology has stuff on them and that they're threatening to release unless they wrote these letters. Because apparently Danny Masterson is like Tom Cruise level in Scientology. So it's like, it's insane. Like the whole thing is insane, but he is sentenced to 15 years to life for each count. So he has 3 counts. So he's going to be in jail forever, which he should be. And I think that that's great because a lot of times you don't see actual, like, you don't see the men go to jail, especially if they're high profile or celebrities. So I do think that that is good, but it's really crazy.
So that was gonna be one of my first questions. You already kind of answered it. Was if Ashton and Mila were in Scientology. So it sounds like they're not, but maybe because they were friends with Danny, now Scientology has a bunch of shit on them or something, or what?
So with Scientology, they do this thing. The whole religion makes no sense. The basis of the religion is that they think that they're aliens. And there's these rungs that you have to climb up to get to the top. And once you get to the top, that's like your alien form and you like go to your alien planet. But you never get to the top because once you get close to the top, they open up more rungs where you have to spend more money because there's like certain books and stuff you have to buy. Anyways, part of climbing these rungs are doing kind of like confessionals that you go into a room with somebody and they record everything that you say and they break you down, break you down, break you down until you say like your secrets, like your secrets. And it's all recorded. So then if you're threatening to leave or if you're threatening to not give them any more money, then they'll be like, oh, remember that one time that you said this in our recording session? And so people are thinking like Ashton and Mila have some stuff recorded and they're threatening to release it unless they wrote the letters.
Honestly, I could totally see that for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, because apparently then a lot of that 70s show member, like when the show was on air, a lot of people did stuff for Scientologists because Donna was also a Scientologist at this time. She was dating Danny's brother, who was the middle child in Malcolm in the Middle. And so Donna was dating him. And so her and Hyde were like trying to recruit a lot of the people from that 70s show into Scientology. And Eric, I can't remember, Topher Grace, I think that's his real name, but he was the only one that like wanted nothing to do with it and like was kind of rude to people on set just because they were all like trying to peddle this Scientology crap.
That's really insane. First of all, I have a lot of things and a lot of thoughts, but my first thing I have to say is if you're watching this on YouTube and I keep rubbing my eye, I have sand in it because I played sand volleyball today and it
Ugh.
was fucking brutal. So I'm trying
Oh,
to get the sand
ouch.
out. So anyways, ignore that. But okay, I can totally see this happening because I feel like back in the day, especially around that 70s show time, when they were like, that was like the start, at least in my mind, of when like shows like this were really making it big. And Scientology
Mhm.
was such a thing back then where no one really knew what was going on. And it was
Mhm.
like this super, it was even more secretive, I feel like then than it is now because now people
Mhm.
are blasting it. But I could totally see all of this happening and there being some wild shit that went on in that 70 show phase because like freaking Mila was 14 on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you know that that was like the height of celebrity status for them. They were like making all this money. They were super popular and people were just more fucked up back then. I feel like sometimes like in when it comes to like sexualism
Mhm.
than they are now. It's almost like it to me a lot of this all has stemmed from back then and
Yeah.
people having a really bad image and idea of what these types of things are and then that's carried into generations and generations. But I see this happening. I feel weird because like part of me this is weird too because like I'm obviously a victim and it's weird because I can see where they came from with their statements. Like
Mhm.
if you're really close with someone, especially if there's someone that has shit on you, like I know you as a person.
Mhm.
And if I found out something like this and like these people were coming at you, but I also knew more of the truth that I know of you, I would write a statement for you. And
Mhm.
I I feel like Ashton's point of view was more sincere in their apology video than Mila's. Mila's was very like
Abrasive.
Russian mafia vibes. Like
Mhm.
it was
Mhm.
so weird, but
It
his was
was.
really like, no, like from my point of view, like I wasn't saying that what happened. I wasn't trying to discredit these victims. I really was just trying to say like this is the person I know, and I could see that. Like I would do that for people,
Mhm.
and it would really depend on like my relationship with them and how I know them. So it's like hard for me because I don't see it as like get your pitchforks and flames and let's go tear them down for writing these statements because people are asked to write statements and it's not picking a
Yeah.
side. It's more of just like, and maybe because of my legal background too, I'm also like, dude, people write these all the time. Like
Mhm.
we're really coming at them and we're like like we're taking pressure away from the actual victims and what happened and him getting this sentencing and putting all of this into let's talk about Ashton and Mila, which I hate because it's like let's actually talk more about the victims and what happened to him
Yeah.
and unraveling more of that stuff instead of putting the pressure on all these other celebrities. So I feel like I'm like
Mhm.
I don't like it, but I'm also like let's talk about the actual issue people and let's like but this is what the internet and the media and everything probably wants to have happen so that Danny's and Scientology and all of these things and the victims don't get more light. Like I can totally
Yep.
see why this is happening and I hate it.
Yep. I totally agree with that. And it's just crazy all the stuff that's been slowly like trickling out because I follow a lot of conspiracy theorists like accounts on Instagram. And a lot of the LA Police Department is paid off by Scientologists. Like a lot of their salaries come from Scientology. And that
Oof.
is crazy to me. And so it's like everybody is focusing so much on Ashton and Mila, which it's hard. And I'm kind of on the same boat with you is yes, I would do it for a friend because Danny was Ashton's best friend. And that is hard to be like, well, I can't do that. But they had to have known that the letters were going to get out and people were going to
Oh,
freak
for
out.
sure.
You know what I mean? And he had to have known his status for his organization that he has that, like, if this comes out, which it's going to, people are going to be upset. And so it's hard and I feel bad for them, but it definitely is being focused on more than like, why are we still letting Scientology get away with
Mhm.
all of this stuff? And we've all seen our friend Lois lives by the Hollywood Scientology Center, and it is creepy and it has bad vibes. The people are super creepy. Like they follow you, like it's creepy. And so I don't deny that they are doing shady stuff there.
Yeah, I can totally see them having to write something because of something in their past. Garen fucking teed. Like I
Yeah.
could see
Yeah.
Scientology exploiting them. I could see Danny being like, "Listen, man, I know you don't want to do this, but if you don't, they're threatening this." I could totally see something like that. And Scientology is super fucked up for sure. Like,
Mm-hmm.
did you just do that to your
Yeah, my
screen?
camera
Okay.
went my camera went all blurry.
You can't fuck with me like that. You have too much ghost activity. But like, no, like she was saying, Lois lives by it and we drive by it, and every single time it's so eerie. And she was telling us like how kids are out there like scrubbing bricks at like 5 a.m. Like they have these special buses that you can only take if you're part of it, and they take you random place. Like it's just insane. And it's really creepy to me that there's organizations like this, and there's just so much sex and abuse and exploitation that think goes into all of these things. Money and power, man. Like it's just
Hmm.
like I don't even understand how the world is like this, and it makes me so annoyed that it's like how life is. And I know for a fact that to take they want to take everything and put it on Ashton and Mila so that the pressure is
Hmm.
off of them. They don't want more people releasing stuff. They're trying to
Yep.
totally deflect the situation, and I hate that.
Yep, I totally agree. So it's pretty crazy. I'll keep you guys updated. It's kind of been like quiet now with the whole thing, but I think it's really cool that the judge was basically like, I don't give a fuck who you are, what you do, what your status is, you're going to jail. And I think that that's really great because we do not see that
Not enough.
happen. And I think that I really commend the judge for doing that because he probably was getting threatened by Scientologists and all of the things. And I'm glad that he is going to prison. So,
For sure. It's insane to me how often like victims are fighting things like this and very rarely like get justice. And so I'm super happy for these people. I'm sad because I know that it's like there's so many more situations out there that are not going to get this experience, but it's like
mhm,
every single time it's like, all right, at least one more is getting their piece, but it's like it doesn't change anything because
yeah.
literally the world is so fucked up.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. It's a really crazy and fucked up situation. I also don't think Ashton Kutcher murdered his ex-girlfriend, but it is kind of, I am curious about that angle of the story.
Did Ashton do drugs back in the day?
I honestly don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if he did, but I don't know if he did or not.
I don't remember. I feel like there's something because I feel like Demi said something in her book about stuff with him and their relationship. I don't remember what it was, but I think he might be pretty fucked up mentally when it comes to like sexual things. I feel like there was something there. I
Hmm.
feel like I've also heard he goes to the box or has been to the box.
Yikes.
So I don't know. I think that there's just like something again with like young fame and Hollywood and all of this crazy stuff. And maybe that's part of why he's obsessed with this thorn thing that he has to help with these kids because maybe he's been done something in the past that he's trying to make better. I don't know. I
Yeah,
see it.
I wouldn't be surprised. Our generation, like the celebrities in our generation of what we like grew up in, there was some pretty fucked up things that were happening right in front of our faces. And sexualizing these young kids was such a big thing that none of us really noticed. But now looking back, it's like, damn, because he was like the hot thing. So I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised if there's some sort of sexual trauma in his past for sure.
And when you're like that status, like you think you can do no wrong. Like
Yeah.
you're on like the highest high and no one can touch you. And also, I'm not surprised that the LAPD is paid off by Scientologists. Again, I grew up in Blanding and the cops are super fucking corrupt. Part of why I went into the legal field because the things that go on in areas and things that where cops can get away with stuff or help cover stuff up, it's
Sickening.
insane. It's insane.
It's sickening, truly.
Um, well, on this topic, I have another topic for us that kind of falls into this. I texted you while I was gone and I asked you if you knew what a sex club was.
Oh, yes.
I
Yeah, I
want you
have
guys
no idea.
I want you guys to know that I had no idea. So I was in Vienna and we stayed at the same hotel that's like right by our office every single time. And I've noticed it a few times, but I just like never really thought about it. But across from like where you'd come up, like we'd walk past it sometimes. It was across the street from where we always walk to get to the office or to our training. And there was a sign and it says Maxim Sex Club. But
Like
I'd never really,
Maxim, like the magazine?
yeah,
Okay.
Maxim. And like I
Okay.
never noticed the word sex club under it. But the first day that I got there, it was Saturday and I flew in late. I got there by the time I got my luggage and everything, it was like 8:30 and I was trying to meet up with the other coworkers that were already there, but they were at a bar And they were like, we'll just head back to you because we're getting tired too, because they all flew in that same time, but earlier. And so they're like, we'll just head back. We'll wait for us at the lobby bar because the hotel is the best lobby bar. And so I was like, well, I've just been flying for freaking ever. So I was just walking around the block waiting for them because I was like, I do not want to sit down. I don't want to get tired. Like I need to keep my energy up and I want to walk. My legs are like tense. So I'm walking around and I had crossed over to that street and I was like, I was also looking for gelato. And I saw a gelato shop. So that's part of why I crossed over there. But I crossed over and I see it like up close and I just like never had seen it before. And I was like I'd seen it, but I didn't like click in my head. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, how did I not know that there was like an official strip club like across the street from us? And the door is just like open. Like you can see the sign and there's no windows, but there's like a door that's open and you can just see stairs that take you down and it's dark. And I was like, how weird. Like, I can't believe I've never walked by this for fun. And also like, I can't believe it's never registered to me that this has happened. So I was just like, whatever. I walked around the block a couple more times and then we meet up. And then the next day we went on this like adventure. And while we were on this boat ride, I was like telling my coworker, he's the one I travel with more, he's our VP of marketing. And I was like, did you know that there's a strip club across from our hotel? And he's like, no way. And I was like, seriously, like, what a weird place. Like, it's right by the subway. There's a gelato shop. Like, kids are going there. Like, I guess it's just Europe is just so different. Like, I'm just shocked. And I was like, and their door is just open. Like, it's just so weird. So he was like, I don't believe it. And I was like, no, seriously, it's there. And he was like, all right, I'll look one of these times. But we go to dinner and we were like, somehow something came up again. And it's like, do you guys want to walk by the strip club so you can see that it's really there? Like, do you really don't believe me that the strip club is here? And he was like, is it a strip club or a sex club? And I was like, it's a strip club. I don't know. Like it says Maxim and it's like flashing and the door's open and you can just like see down the stairs. And he was like, whatever. And I was like, all right, let's cross the street so we can see it. We start walking on over. I'm like laughing my ass off, thinking everything's freaking hilarious. And we start walking up and he's like, there's like a bouncer and he was like, this is sex club. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. We know. And I was just like, we wanted to just like walk in and then walk out basically. Cause I was like, no, seriously, this is happening. So we walk, I go like barreling down the stairs
Oh my
and
God, I'm so scared.
I'm immediately like, what the fuck is going on in here? Like, what is happening? And I like look back at Steven and my other coworker, Bart, and I was like, there's nobody in here really. And like, what is this? And so then like this girl comes and talks to one of the guys and he's like asking, she was like saying something I couldn't hear. And I was just like looking around and I was like, it's like dark. I can't even understand why they allowed us to just walk in, first of all.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
fuck. I see like these people in this booth and I'm like, this is so weird. Like, what is going on? It's like a Sunday night. So obviously it's not popping either. Thank God. So he was like, he comes walking back over. We're at the stairs. I'm like at the bottom of the stairs, just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where's the strippers? And he's like, all right, we got to come back later. And I was like, we're not coming back. Oh, one thing I did say too when we were walking down the stairs, I was like, oh no, I don't even have any dollar bills. Because their ones are coins. And I was like, all I have are coins. I'm going to knock them out. Like just being so dumb and naive and stupid. And he's like, all right, we got to come back later. And I was like, we're not coming back later. I thought we were just checking it out. And he's like, yep, let's go up the stairs. So I like go walking up and I was
He's
like,
all, come on, Shelby.
he was like, so then both of the guys are like laughing or something. And I was like, so what did she say to you? And he was like, well, that's a sex club. And I was like, there was nothing happening. I was like, there's no strippers. Like, what was going on? I was like, where were the strippers? And he's like, it's a sex club. And I was like, what does this mean? And he
Yeah,
was
what
like,
is a sex club?
so basically the point of the story is a sex club is on a normal day, if you walk downstairs, it would just be people having sex.
They just go to a club to have sex?
So basically the strippers are not strippers. They're people that you have sex with. And I'm sitting here, I was like, no fucking way. And he's like, no, seriously. He's like, they only had one girl because it's a slow night. And that was who that was sitting in that booth with that guy. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, that was their girl for the night. She says we can come back in an hour and she'll be ready for us. And I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, yep, that's how a sex club works. So basically they sit down, they have a little conversation. There's like a room, they go have sex and then he's done. So he's basically paying for sex.
So it's like a brothel.
basically, I guess. And he said that like he's like, I've never like officially been to one. He's like, but I kind of walked in once before, kind of like we just did. He's like, I thought you had total idea that what it was. I was like, no, I thought we were walking in a sex or a strip club. I was like, I was just gonna laugh and then like walk out. Like, what the fuck? I'm so stressed. I was like, what would have happened if people would have been in there? Like, I went on this whole spiral, and I was like, you have to
Yeah.
like. You have to tell me when things like you have to be like, do you know what this actually is? And make me give you an explanation. Because I was like, I thought this was a strip club. So he said on a busy night, there'd have been girls everywhere and people would have been just like banging in these booths. Like they don't even wait for a room. Sometimes they just sit and have sex. Isn't that insane?
Oh, what? How is that sanitary first off?
How is
Like,
this legal? And I
yes.
wasn't ID'd. I wasn't, they didn't make me pay for anything. Like, what the hell? Like, kids could just walk in there. It's right by a gelato shop.
I have so many questions running through my mind right now.
It
So
was
like
literally insane.
it's kind of like a strip club. You walk in and
Yes.
you pick your girl, go have sex with them, and then they're done in an hour or
I
however
guess.
long. Are they tested for STDs? Are you tested for STDs? That does not seem safe to me.
I have no idea. All I know is what I experienced, and I was shocked. I was like, I did not even know this was a thing. I had no idea this was possible. And like, also, how foul and also how weird that Europe has so like sex is like such a thing there. It's so common, it's so normal. Like they have freaking vibrators in their bathrooms and condoms in their bathrooms and all these crazy things. And it's like in the US, that's not happening because we're dealing with Danny Masterson's. But I
Mm-hmm.
was totally blown away. I was like, no fucking way. I was like, I if that would have been going on, I was like, what would we have done? And she was
God,
like,
what
oh,
would you have done?
that's what I said. I went on a whole spiral. We got in like a fight about it. I was like, you guys should know that I'm naive. Okay. Like, what the
I'm
fuck?
from blanding bitches.
I'm like, you guys are 55 and I'm literally 33 and I don't go to these places at all.
I
Like,
am
you
so shocked by that.
I was dying. I was like, oh my God, if Tayler would have been here, if it would have just been us on a girls' trip, because we would have done the same thing.
Oh, we would
We
have
would
easily.
we would have been like, this will be so fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
And it could quickly become not funny. So that is what a sex club is. And it's actually a thing. It's not a brothel. It's just literally people dance and then have sex like right there if they want to.
Do they even clean the booths?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
I'm so disturbed by the sanitary aspect of this. Like, that is my number one problem. Not that like kids can walk in, not that anybody can walk in without being ID'd. Like, it just seems so unsanitary to me because I've been to a strip club and I know that that shit ain't clean. So this cannot be clean.
It can't be. And also, I love that you're over here on sanitary. And I'm like, the rules, like, there's kids.
Like that is a problem, but that's my number two problem. My number one is that it's not clean. There's probably jizz stains everywhere. That is so gross.
Honestly, I haven't had the courage to do it, but I'm gonna Google it and read more about it because I'm shocked. And also now I'm curious, like, is this how the box is secretly too?
Oh, you know that I'm Googling it the second we get off this call. Yeah, that probably is how the box is. If you guys don't know what the box is, it's probably one of our first episodes. It's a club in New York City that does crazy, outlandish things, and we are going to it.
It's considered theater. In their eyes, they do like theater type, like a show, and they're foul, like extremely foul. It's very
Yes.
exclusive. Like you have to pay a lot of money to even get a table, and people like do wild, wild, foul things that are just I can't even explain it.
And Cody Rigsby from Peloton used to work there, and I'm listening to his book right now, and he kind of goes into some detail about it. And he said that he saw multiple nights a tranny peeing on a man. And that's all you need to know about the box. And I actually looked it up. Tables are only about $600. So this is definitely on Shelby and I's list to go.
It's a shame too because Cody's job was to make sure that people weren't like taking pictures and stuff there. But like I was just gonna
Mhm.
say with TikTok and everything, there'd be some good content that I would love to see.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that is another weird thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go there. But again, the naive mind of mine definitely does not understand these things, and but I'm willing to go to the box. I have something else to say. I don't know if you feel this way about anything. to this level. It's a new thing for me. Have you ever paid attention to people's ear wrinkles?
No.
I am starting to get really stressed. I need to find out if you can get Botox there. But as you get older, right here in front of your ear, you get wrinkles. And I saw this probably a year ago on someone in like a business meeting. And I was just sitting there. He was talking, but like his head was turned towards the front. And I was like, what the fuck are these wrinkles? And I just thought like maybe that was his own thing. So since then, I've noticed that people as they get older start getting wrinkles right here. And it's like they're in lines right here. And it's because their skin starts sagging and they develop wrinkles right in front of their ears and like down through here. And I'm starting to freak out about it because I've started to see wrinkles there.
You are so funny about wrinkles. You don't have wrinkles there. And you
No,
just,
you got to look at yours later. I'm telling
okay,
you,
I will.
I'm going to find a picture of someone's and you're going to be like, holy shit, I do not want this.
Okay, send me a picture, but you need to use a Gai Shao. That will help you naturally not get wrinkles. It'll keep your like face skin tight.
I actually just got one of those. Surprisingly, I kept hoping you'd give me one for my birthday and you never did. So I finally bought my own because you talk about them all the time and you
I
never
thought that
gave
you
me
had
one.
one.
No, I would always be like, oh, I need to get one of those. And then this bitch never got me one. Just
You
kidding.
know what?
No.
That's so funny because every year I'm like, I should get Shelby this. And I'm like, no, she already has one. She doesn't need a second one. I really didn't know you didn't have one. That's
So
funny.
I just bought one. My problem is now I don't own any like serums to use it with. So like you can't use it on a dry face because then you're just like vibrating on your skin and that's stupid. But I don't have,
Listen,
what
I
is
use
this?
this. I get it from Amazon. It is the best. And it's literally like $7, I think. It's called Palmer's Skin Therapy Oil, and it's specifically for your face. I also have the body one because I like Gai Shao my body. I have like a body Gai Shao. This is so amazing. And when you put it on, you can literally feel like your dry skin coming off. And this is what I use before I Gai Shao. And it's literally
So
like $7.
I need to get one of those, but my worry is that I have really sensitive skin and things like that make me break out. So I need to find one that I can trust, but that's why I don't actually do it now. So I've had it for like a couple months now and I don't even use it because I don't have a serum.
Have you ever used like cocoa butter before? Like on your face?
Not on my face, for sure on my body when I was pregnant, but yeah, I need to find a serum. I keep hoping that Uncommon Beauty will come out with one, but she just hasn't yet.
I really recommend that stuff. I don't think it would make you break out at all.
I definitely will look into it. I'll always try something and then as soon as I start breaking out, I'll be like, oh, that one's not for me.
Yeah.
Um,
No, and
I
it's
have
cheap enough that if it doesn't work,
I have one last thing that's on my notes, and then I want to hear about the 50-cent burgers.
Okay.
The last thing I have on my notes is the weirdest fucking people follow me randomly on social media. And because we have a podcast, I'm public. And so I don't really pay attention very often to like who's following me. Like it'll be like sometimes I'll get that notification saying like I have new followers, but I never look because I don't give a fuck. I assume it's like people trying to like get me to like their stories about their ass pictures and stuff because that's like totally a thing. If you guys
It
haven't,
is a thing.
if you're public, you totally know what I'm talking about. So I don't pay attention to it. But the other day when I was in Vienna, for some reason I was looking to see who looked at my story, which like, let's be real, guys. Everyone sees who's looking at your story. So like just be aware of that. I look at my thing and I was like, who's this person? And the name kind of had like this familiarity to me. I had to send a screenshot to my coworker. My boss that just got fired, his wife was following me on Instagram and looking at my story. I've never met this lady. I have no idea who she is. I've
Your
just know,
current boss that just got fired?
yes, I've never met her. I have no idea why she would be looking at my story. I have no idea why she'd be following me. This bitch was following me. The weirdest people follow me on Instagram. The weirdest people look at my profile on
That
Instagram.
is strange. Because
And
she's like old too.
didn't even know her first name. I just saw her like last name and I thought maybe I'd heard her first name. So I sent a screenshot to my coworker who knows the guy that just was fired. Like he's known him for a long time. I was like, is this his wife? And he was like, I'm pretty sure that's his wife. What the fuck?
That's so weird.
It's so weird. Anyways, I just had to get that out there. The weirdest people follow me on Instagram. The weirdest guy responded to my wine night thing saying he was going to come to wine night because he's a wine enthusiast. I've never heard of this guy. He doesn't even follow me. I have no idea how things happen on Instagram, but you guys should really look into it sometimes because it's really funny.
It is. I always get like people
Sugar
that
daddies.
like my story. I get a ton of sugar daddies and people that like my story and their profile picture is just like their ass in a thong. And I'm like,
Yes.
why? Why is this happening? It's so uncomfortable, so weird. And like their name is like, check out my profile.
Yeah.
And it has like all these emojis. And I'm like, why are you liking my story? Like it's so weird. How do you even find me?
Dude, it's so weird. And I get spammed so much and it's just so funny. But it's really funny when you catch weird things like that. And I was just like, God, the world and people are just so strange. Like,
Yeah, that's interesting. That
so
is
strange.
really weird.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. So I just had to put that out there. That's it. That's all I have.
All right. Well, you guys, conspiracy theorist Tayler is back. Okay. I took a break from conspiracy theories because I just couldn't anymore. And now I've got sucked down the hole again of them and I just can't. So the other night, I took some of my cannabis oil. I take the same amount every time I take it. Some days it hits me so hard. Some days I don't even feel it at all. There's no rhyme or reason. But this night it hit me real hard. And when it hits me real hard, I like to like watch documentaries or, research stuff. I don't know why. It just brings me like an immense amount of joy when I'm stoned and learning, I guess. So anyways, I got
That's
stuck
such
down.
a nerd thing.
I know, it's so weird. Tony always knows when like the oil hits me hard because I'll just like turn on the most random documentaries and he's like, okay. Like, it's so funny. But anyway, this night, I think it was, what night was it? Thursday. I got sucked down this conspiracy theory rabbit hole about National Cheeseburger Day, which begins tomorrow. I need to do some sort of a PSA before tomorrow because this
Yes.
episode will come out on Wednesday and then you guys won't be able to know to not eat the cheeseburgers. Okay, The Simpsons has predicted a lot of things that have happened in our lives. Okay, they predicted Donald Trump becoming president, they predicted COVID-19, they predicted the submarine exploding when it was going to the Titanic. Like, they predicted a lot of things. Okay, this new prediction is that hamburgers that are on sale, Shelby's already just like, oh God, here we go. Hamburgers that are on sale. So tomorrow's National Cheeseburger Day. McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King are all doing 50-cent hamburgers. I actually think Wendy's is a penny. Like if you buy a burger, you get one for a penny or something.
Damn.
But anyways, The Simpsons did this. I don't watch The Simpsons. My dad did, but I actually despise that show. So I don't really know much about The Simpsons, to be honest, because I would like hide in my room because that show is so annoying. The clown, I think his name is Krusty on The Simpsons. He had a restaurant, I guess, and he did the same thing that he did like 50-cent hamburgers. So in the episode, everyone is like eating the 50-cent hamburgers and all of a sudden they all turn into zombies and start eating each other. So people are predicting not that we're going to turn into zombies, but that the government is, I feel so crazy when I talk about this stuff, that the government is doing something with the meat and they're testing something on humans. So there's predictions that it's like human meat that they're using. There's predictions that it's some weird like genetically modified meat so that we stop like craving meat, because Bill Gates is trying to get people to like stop eating meat because of like, I don't know. I haven't researched that a whole ton, but something about something that cows put into the atmosphere that's contributing to global warming. So like Bill Gates wants people to not eat meat. So he's like creating different forms of meat that aren't actual meat. They're like lab meat, which is so disgusting to me. So there's a prediction that it's that. There's also like a prediction that they're putting like weird chemicals into the meat. So there's a lot of different predictions going around. And basically, don't eat the hamburgers tomorrow for National Burger Day. It really actually kind of creeps me out.
Oh my God. Honestly, here's the thing. I actually believe this one. I don't know what they're putting in it, but I can totally see there being a purpose to them making this happen. I could see them putting something in there to make another actual COVID lockdown situation happen. I could see them just trying to get rid of fucking the population. Like so many different things. I can totally
Mhm.
see this happening.
Yeah, it's super creepy to me because I don't know. I don't, I hate to say this on like a public thing, but I don't have a lot of trust for our government after COVID-19. Like, I really don't. After everything that happened, like, I just really don't have a lot of trust for them, for the police, like carrying all the Scientology stuff. Like, it's hard to trust people in power like that.
Yeah.
And inflation is such a big thing right now. Things are so expensive. Groceries are so expensive. Like, why would they be doing 50-cent hamburgers when we can't even get decently priced groceries? And it is coming up to an election time, and there's just shady shit that happens during election times. And I just don't trust anything going on around elections, especially like with how Joe Biden and stuff has been lately, and just like how weird that whole situation has been. I don't trust it. And I just think it's weird. And yeah, I don't know. I think that there's definitely some solid truths to this one.
Yeah, I don't trust our government either. I don't trust anyone with money and power anymore here, especially in the US. I think that's part of why I'm also like, let's just move and enjoy life before everything just goes to shit because it's probably going to. And why
Mm-hmm.
not like enjoy life instead of being in this rat race in America? But also I feel like with COVID, there was something around it like starting from like chickens or whatever. So I can just see and like when there was like the whole egg crisis where they had to like kill all these freaking chickens and that's why we didn't have any eggs and like all sorts of stuff. It's like
Mm-hmm.
there's some weird shit going on and I just don't trust any of it. And it is weird that The Simpsons do predict stuff. I feel like South Park is also similar. So it just makes me think that like the people behind Hollywood and money and all these things, they
Mm-hmm.
already know what they're trying to do and they're going to use these things and make it real because they can. And it's
Yeah.
stressful.
Well, The Simpsons is so weird because literally they have predicted so many things. So anytime The Simpsons are involved in anything, I'm like, oh shit, we need to tread lightly because like they even the tiniest thing, like the submarine exploding, trying to find the Titanic, like why would that be a thing that they just make this show about like years ago? Like it's just weird to me. I don't trust it. So basically, I hope by the time you guys listen to this that none of you guys got the hamburgers.
Um, I'm gonna need you to make sure you do a PSA that we can definitely tell people about. But also, I have always wondered with these like Simpsons episodes, have people actually confirmed that they've seen this episode? Like it was an actual episode that aired, or is this also like us just being fooled by people creating media?
No, Tony has actually, because he used to love The Simpsons. He'd watch it
Okay.
all the time with his dad. And when I showed him this, because I was freaking out, like, mind you, I was stoned. I go downstairs because Tony like did his little guys' night. He like plays games with his guy friends on Thursday. And I was like really scared. I was like, holy shit, like this is really happening. I'm super freaked out. And he was like, oh yeah, I remember this episode. So he's definitely seen episodes before.
Okay, but also like it just goes back to like we never know what's in any of our fucking food and it's so
I
stressful
know.
because that hamburger is not going to be gone by just 50-cent hamburger day. So
Yep.
it's just really stressful and it really stresses me out to think about how we just are supposed to trust people to be making stuff right and doing everything right and then who knows.
Yeah, the whole fact that like there can be stuff in your food is so creepy. And that's why like I'm so big on like farmers markets and stuff because you don't know what is put in your food at the grocery store. It's creepy and it's gross and I don't trust it.
I was actually thinking the other day I wanted to find like a local like butcher that
Hmm.
like they do that they have their own like meat. I think there's actually one down the street from me. I just don't know how to actually buy these things or deal with them and so I don't. But I was thinking because at the farmers market you always see like the local farmers selling their meat and I'm like, "Damn, I should buy that." But I hate buying meat and I hate talking to people, so it's like
Hmm.
the last thing I want to do. But That would actually be really smart on my part. I would say too, another thing that really fucks with me with food is I really worry about those big spiders in the banana piles that you see on the internet.
Yeah, those are gross. We should actually share, you buy like a whole cow, but they're kind of expensive and it
Oh
comes with a
yeah.
shit ton of meat. We should totally do that and just like split the cost from somebody that we trust. I actually know somebody who knows a lot of people. She's a farmer, so she knows a lot of people that she trusts up here. Because I definitely like, Tony was telling me about the whole Bill Gates thing, how he's like genetically modifying all this meat, and that like creeped me out. And I was like, I've got to buy things from other places. Like it's scary.
Wally was talking about the lab meat. I can't remember to who, and I thought that was really weird. That was the first time I heard about it. But I want you to also know that I know somebody that knows people with cows, and I think my mom could help you out too.
True that. True that. We do know a lot of people that have cows, so there's no reason to not do it. So, anyways,
Totally.
that's my conspiracy theory brain. I'm definitely in the research phases of conspiracy theories. I realized through this how much I actually love them, even though they really creep me out. But there will definitely be more to come with this.
I also have missed you getting into them because I think they're mostly ridiculous, but it's really fun to hear them and then also be like, do you use your brain ever when you think about these stories?
But this one is like the Wayfair one during COVID. Like there's things
Yeah.
that you can't really deny. So it's not like this one isn't like a fun one. Like, let's get lost in this. It's fun. It's actually like really fucking creepy to me.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. The Wayfair one still fucks with me.
Same, same. Okay, we ready for asking for a friend? Because I have a real good one.
Yes, I'm excited. I have my
Okay.
stress ball right now.
Okay. So there's a subreddit called TIFU. Today I fucked up. And it's just basically people that tell stories about like how they fucked up their day. This one was this girl was in the shower and she was doing this ritual that she does all the time, every time she showers, and it involves her vagina. So she, in the shower, it actually makes me kind of gag thinking about it. In the shower, she will stick her finger up her vagina, sweep out everything that's up there, like discharge, period, blood, like whatever's up there. She'll sweep it out and then she'll wipe her finger off in the shower and then like keep going until nothing comes out. So where the today I fucked up is she scraped herself up there like with her fingernail, which yeah, that would definitely fuck up your day. But my question is, I don't do this. Okay. And that's why, of course, I had to read the comments because I was like, this is unbelievable. So many people do this that they will stick their finger up their vagina and sweep it out. And a lot of girls are saying they do it on their period to like help their flow not be as heavy. And they'll just like use their finger to get it out. And I can't wrap my mind around it. I
Listen,
can't.
I think this is when it's hashtag asking a for a friend, do you do this? And I'm about to give you my answer. I think that these women have very evolved parents that taught them some weird stuff for sure, but then also taught them about their own bodies very, very young. Because I'm telling you, where I grew up, you don't fucking put your fingers up there and you're not cleaning your freaking vagina yourself. I was always taught to get a washcloth, make sure you're clean,
The
all of those things.
outside, yes, but
But
not inside.
Grandma Carolyn would have for sure thought I was taking my own virginity by doing that, and that is not what I was allowed to do, and I don't want to do that either. And I'm not teaching my daughter to do
I
that, and I'm
don't
very
either.
uncomfortable.
I know. I was so confused because I've heard of like douching, but I've also heard because I think I've never douched, but I think douching is the same thing that you squirt water up there and like stuff comes out. I guess that this is the same thing without the water, but like, what is coming out and why are you doing that? I'm so stressed about it and it seems so abnormal and weird to me and your face is so red. You're so stressed.
It's because when you're talking about douching, it just made me think that douching is the neti pot for the vagina, and I just can't get over
Yeah.
it. I need to know if any of our listeners do this, and I'm gonna say it. I don't feel comfortable enough doing that to myself. I
But
don't feel com
maybe we're gross, so we don't do it. Maybe this is such a normal thing because there was like thousands of comments on this Reddit post, and so many of them, like nobody was like, "Ew, that's gross. Why are you doing that?" Like I was appalled, but nobody else was appalled, and I was like, "Am I supposed to be doing this?" Like I use soap and I clean like the outside, but I never go up in there and take anything out.
Listen, I don't think we're gross. I never read about this in Cosmo, and that is Bible. And there was no article telling me at my young age that I needed to be doing this. And I'm not seeing any articles right now saying that you need to be doing this. So I think that was just something their moms told them to do, and
They
they're
just do
evolved
it.
women. But I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I don't like to put my finger up there to begin with.
Like I don't even like to change my own tampon on my period because it's just like nasty. I could not imagine on my period sticking my finger up there and sweeping things out. I literally, that would be torture to me.
That is literally why when you were going to use those cups, I had to know because I was like, I'm not sticking my hand up there, grabbing this cup and it's full of my own liquid.
Yeah,
Like
that's why I haven't even opened up the box yet.
when I have to search for my string when I'm on my period, I'm unhappy. I'm not happy with
Mhm.
myself. And I'm not trying to like actively do that every day in the shower. No, ma'am.
Maybe this is like some weird LDS trauma that we have because we were like told that you couldn't like masturbate or anything. Maybe that like created some fear in us that like we can't touch down there at all.
I mean, it's probably multiple things, but also like it's like I think it depends on people and how comfortable they are with their own bodies and their sexuality. And like for me, sex is like a weird thing because of my trauma. But on top of that, I was also, like I said, Grandma Carolyn would for sure think I was like a pervert and I was going to hell and I have issues and I need to be locked up for sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, I had to know. And listeners, I am not judging you at all if you do this
I
at
am
all.
not in a bad way. I'm just curious. I'm curiously judging.
I am so curious if this is a thing that we just like don't do or that we're supposed to do. I don't know. I don't know. I just let like
Ugh.
stuff come out when it wants to come out, you know?
Same for me. And also like that's like the doctor, like when they like took my birth control out and she was like, "Oh, let me just get this mucus real fast." I was like, "You're fucking sick. Don't tell me that." Like, no, this is for doctors only. Like you deal with your thing, but you don't need to talk to me about it. Or that girl that was like, "Oh yeah, you can play with your mucus and find out if you're ovulating." Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not doing any of those things. Those bodily discharge things can go where they need to go and they don't need to be on my body. I don't need to be
Mhm.
playing with them. I don't need to hear about them. I don't want to be sweeping my own vagina.
Yeah, yeah, same, same. So let us know if you do that. Let us know if you've ever been to a sex club or if you knew what a sex club was, because I still am in disbelief about that. And do you have anything else or are we done? Are we done?
And make sure you don't eat 50-cent hamburger. Oh, I
Oh,
do have
yeah.
something else to say. Listen, if you're not watching us on YouTube, please make sure that you go to our Instagram and click on the link because it's impossible to search for us on YouTube because there's a really dope podcast that trumps YouTube. And you will not find us if you just search Champs Drink Champ podcast. So please go and subscribe to us on YouTube and make sure you're doing it through the link in our Instagram or you will not find us.
Yes. And I hope that we're all not all zombies by Wednesday when this comes out because that will be after National Cheeseburger Day. So
We will be zombies at your wedding.
yeah. Stay tuned for next week too. That's when our newlywed game will be with Tony. He's very nervous. So make sure you tune in and show him some love because he is very uncomfortable that we're making him do this, but it's fine. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, our personals and our podcast Instagram, and share with a friend. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.